acclaimed food and travel writer, and world-class chef.
I was chef de casserole. I made the casseroles in the frozen food department.
For more than a decade, they've combined their expertise to answer your questions and introduce you to the culinary movers and shakers you want or ought to know. Four-time Taste Award finalists, 12-time Nephew Award losers. They are the dynamic duo of dining.
Drop, keep screaming for more.
Mike and Stu on FM Talk 106.5.
Why? Dragon, why?
Yes, sir. We will be drinking some wine spolioli this afternoon. When that big old show, when the biggest Sunday of the year comes along, and we got a burning question. First of all, welcome to the Sip and Chew Show with Mike and Stu. I'm Mike, there's Stu. We got Steve over there running things, and Phil back there, Philip running things back there, answering the phones and stuff. And so, in case you want to call or text in, and don't wait till the end of the show to do that, please. Let's get you in early. I'll give you that number, 251-343-0106 is that number to call. How are you today, Stu?
I'm doing right fine.
That's good. All right. It's a big game day today, and I've got a big important question to ask you.
Oh, yeah.
Flats or wing? I mean, flats or drum?
All right. Here's what the debate comes down to. Do you want convenience or do you want flavor? That's what it comes down to. The drums are easier to eat. The flappers take longer. They're more complex.
I don't know.
But the flavor is considerably better. Because you've got two bones on either side with the meat in the middle instead of the bone running through the middle of the meat where it tends to dry out more.
Yeah.
The correct answer is both.
Both.
Yes. I eat both.
I would have never even thought of that. I just said wings is wings, man.
Yeah.
Wings.
Yeah.
I saw a video of a guy, he took them and he put between his thumb and his index finger, and he pushed them down on the surface, and it pushed the meat to the end of the drum or the wing, and he was able to just put his mouth and pull all the meat off.
Like a lollipop.
That just raises a question to me. If you don't want to do the work, get you some boneless.
There's no such thing as a boneless wing.
They're not wings.
Admit you're at the kids' table and eat your nuggets and shut up. There's no such thing as a boneless wing.
Oh, snotty nose.
Man.
So put your pacifier away and eat your nuggets.
Yeah. I used to like nuggets.
Yeah, well, and then.
Yeah. I do like Chick-fil-A. You can go in and get the grills.
That's a nice option. It is.
Yeah.
And Church's does this Texas roasted chicken that's really good.
Really?
Yeah. It seems like it'll be on for a year or two, and then they'll take it off for a year or two. Depends on, but they have had it of recent, and I've been meaning to get it, but it's just got a nice little rub on the outside, and it gets roasted in an oven.
Just go to get your rotisserie chicken to be done.
There you go, $6.99 at Costco. It'll feed 10 people.
Yeah, I'd just rather pick up one somewhere else. Those are big chickens, though.
Yeah.
Big old chickens.
Yeah.
But
biggest chicken on the market, lowest price.
Really?
Yeah. Oh man, that Winn-Dixie before they closed in Sims, they were like $9.99 for a smaller bird.
Yeah, I mean they more like quail.
I love quail though.
yeah, the Costco chicken is huge.
Yeah.
So you sure it's a chicken?
Yeah.
I tell you, if prices keep getting higher, those seagulls out in the parking lot looking pretty good. There's some
We never wondered
There's
why
some
not.
fat ones. There's some fat ones I see out there.
We don't have grouse around here, which is the wild. That's what a chicken was before we domesticated.
Was it
I
grouse?
believe it's the grouse, yeah. And which is what they would have eaten in Africa to make the original gumbos, because it wasn't a seafood dish. It was made with wild game, most likely grouse or something similar. Or parrot, maybe.
Yeah. That's
Already
cool.
haven't even gotten 11 minutes into the show. You guys are educating me all over.
That's what this show's all about.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah. The my least favorite gumbo is chicken gumbo, because it just tastes like somebody made whole chicken, put it in chicken gravy, and called it gumbo. Because I'm used to Southern Gulf Coast gumbo, but that's the closest to the original gumbo.
Yeah.
My thing, going back to the wings, okay, sauce. Really not necessarily the flap or the drum, it's the sauce to me.
Well, I like mine naked,
Okay,
and then I can choose what I want to put on.
with a pole.
And just for clarification, there's a difference between naked and naked. Naked means no clothes on. Naked means no clothes on, but up to something.
Okay. Just making sure. I didn't know if there was a pole involved or not.
I'll tell you, my favorite chicken wings in the whole area, of course, is Butch Cassidy's, and they do the mistake wings.
Mhm.
And used to, you had to know about them, but now they're on the menu. But doggone
That was a
good.
mistake.
Yeah, Roy said, "Well, thanks for telling everybody."
Yeah.
and well, they're awesome, you know. They're
Well, it
awesome.
was a secret menu item. Now it's just a menu item. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I used to get them like that at the old Orleans Cafe on Schillinger's.
Yeah.
They did them like that as well, and it was really good. My favorite wings in the county, and apparently everyone's because they win the Lanyap for best wings in Mobile County, is Wemo's out of their
I've
Fort
never
Schillinger's.
had Wemo.
Still haven't had it.
Oh, fantastic. And it's pretty much wings, and then they got nuggets for your children.
Yeah, I bet you're busy today.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll tell you,
And-
yeah, you're
but
right.
they've got a ton of sauces.
hmm
My favorite is the Wee Mo because it's mo hotter than hot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the next thing up from their hot.
I just don't do hot anymore.
It's just about right. But
I can do God, but 12 hours
the
later.
other thing that I've gotten into with wings, and we used to do this at Lucky, is instead of sauces, dry rubs. We did an Old Bay wing. As soon as it comes out, you shower it with Old Bay.
Mhm.
We did one that we came up with that we called Dublin Fire,
Mm.
and it was rub sage and cayenne pepper. And came out and put it in it. And that was really good. It wasn't super hot. It had some heat from the cayenne,
Yeah.
and the sage was, very English tasting.
Yeah.
And it was just really, really good. And I've done the Dublin Fire on fry wings, or fry seasoning before too, with a little salt mix.
Now, I hate to mention it, not quote non-local, but the Hooters sauce used
Yeah.
to just be, there's a butter in that? Is that what
Yeah,
the ingredient that really
the
makes it go?
ingredients for buffalo sauce
Uh-huh.
is melted butter
Uh-huh.
and Frank's Red Hot. Hooters has their own recipe. It's their sauce taste. I almost think there's buttermilk in it.
Hmm.
Just a little tang to it. It's its own thing. The wings are not good without the sauce because it's just flour. It's not really seasoned.
Yeah.
So they're,
I used to like their breaded more than I like general wings, but
yeah,
it was always the sauce. You get 3 Mile Island or whatever. That
Yeah.
stuff would just burn for hours.
yeah.
Well,
But,
my favorite sauce is garlic parmesan.
Mm.
yeah,
Love that.
that's good. Roma Cafe does good.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you how they make it. They take Parmesan and garlic and add it to ranch dressing.
Really?
Yeah, so it covers up that nasty ranch flavor.
Well, I know you said that you
Unless
don't
it's
like
homemade
ranch.
ranch.
Yeah, it all
Blue
tastes like
cheese.
mayonnaise and buttermilk, man. That's all it is. It's mayonnaise and buttermilk. Alabama white barbecue sauce is what ranch dressing is supposed to be. Try that with your wings.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, Alabama sunshine.
Moe's has it.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Moe's does.
Yeah, oh yeah, and it's great with their
You
smoke.
can buy it in the stores now. They
Yeah,
sell it.
Alabama Sunshine makes a really good version of it, which is here, I think, in South Alabama. Maybe not here in Mobile, Baldwin County, which is that's South Alabama, by the way. That's the only 2 counties in South Alabama. The rest, everything from Montgomery down is lower Alabama.
Hmm.
And only Mobile and Baldwin County are South Alabama because we're south of the rest of Alabama. You like that, Mike?
That's
Like
how that works.
Yeah.
I always thought something had to do with I-10.
Southwest,
Yeah.
southwest, south.
Southwest, south by southwest.
That's it.
So I
That's
have a
it.
question when we come back from the break. We
Oh,
talked about wings.
Yeah.
Best salsa, what kind of salsa, et cetera, et cetera.
I got a
I
local
mean, you
one
got
to throw
chips and
in.
salsa for all, you got to have chips and salsa with the game as well. I would
Yeah.
think,
Mhm.
yeah.
I ate it. I ate at one of my customers today. Macho Taco. They do their salsa is like smoked tomato.
Roasted
sauce.
tomato. Yeah.
Roasted tomato. Oh, my God.
251-343-0106 if you want to tell us your favorite salsa.
Or rolling sea. And
The
all
only salsa we got to recommend. Tony.
where I lost
We'll
Bay,
come up with something. 'Cause he wants to do
Magnolia
something.
Beach.
Oh, Tony.
For more than
Host
50
the,
years, Mobile Bay Magazine has
live
showcased the
cast.
history, style, arts, dining,
Then we
and
can use the money
entertainment
to
that defines
publicize the live
excellence on
cast,
both
get more
sides of
people
Mobile
watching.
Bay. Each month's issue is filled with our unique Southern Alabama culture, beautifully captured and told through engaging articles and stunning photography. When you subscribe to
talk to
Mobile
you
Bay
about that.
Magazine, you'll be
Leave.
swept into the pages where
Well, if we
recipes,
leave, we
familiar
can't talk
places,
about it.
and
Well, I mean,
faces, and untold stories abound. Start your journey today by visiting mobilebaymag.com.
Well, move
That's
like here.
mobilebaymag.com.
I think I got,
I'm Scott
I think they
Armstrong
got
with
really good
Kimco
volume
Metal
on it.
Buildings. If
Last
you want a
week, that
sustainable and cost-effective
Ward was saying
solution
he
for
couldn't
your
hear the
building
show,
needs, we've got
and,
you covered.
Stu
Kimco has been
said that we
designing
didn't have any
and
volume.
constructing commercial
Yeah.
quality steel buildings
On
since
that, you know,
1965.
on that.
Will meet
Oh.
or exceed
But
our
this
Mike,
up-
load
Mike wasn't
structural
understanding where he's
requirements
getting
and help with
a
the building
modulation
process from
off this
planning to
graph over
completion.
here.
We're located in
His mic is
Daphne.
also
Check out
picking
our
up our
website at
voices in the speakers.
kimcobuildings.com
Those
or
carry
call
much
us
better
at
than
626-0594.
So he was getting a false
That's
read.
KEMKO.
Skinner's Wild Game Processing in
Because
Thomasville is
it
open
used to-
now.
when I
They
was
offer a
trying to
range
set
of
up
processing
and
options, and the deer you
trying to
bring
make sure I
is
was
the
getting
meat
it,
you
and
get
Bill
back.
would walk in
Drop
and
off
start
in
talking.
Thomasville and pick up at their
Okay, I
convenient
can't
Daphne
tell.
location
Well,
at
that's when I started
181 and
splitting.
64. They're open 8 to 8 Monday through Sundays now
Yep.
through mid-February. And if you're running
Yeah, it'd
late,
be nice
call
to have
Bruce at
direct-
251
Yeah,
605
good. Told him.
6355
will
and he'll stay till you get there. Skinner's is
You know,
happy to
you
help their
just have a,
customers through the game check
Yeah.
process at no charge.
RTA and
Trusted
then
by
an
local hunters for
USB.
years, Skinner's
Got
Wild
one at
Game
the house.
Processing in Thomasville.
Chances are you or someone you know is
I
struggling
wonder if,
with an addiction. And
you know,
just like
help.
most things in life,
Maybe.
if you ignore it,
The Scarlet.
it
Well,
won't
yeah,
go
the
away.
Scarlet.
The truth of the
I've
matter
got
is,
it.
if you want to reclaim your
An
life,
iBook that I
you need help.
I was going
That's
to use
why
it to
you
edit
need to call
videos.
the National
A friend of mine,
Recovery Center
his
sooner
dad passed
than
away,
later.
and he said, "I'll just give
We
you your
can't
own
help
podcast."
unless you're ready to be
And
helped. You need
but
to
the
want a better
OS on
life.
it is so
You
old
need to want to
that
stop
it
the
no longer
downward, out of
supports
control spiral
the
you've been
Apple.
on.
Yeah.
You
So I
need to
would have
make
to
a conscious
buy
effort and take control.
a brand new.
Our programs are
Well,
designed to
Scarlet
provide you
2x2,
with
for
the care
example, so I
and
use
support
my
you need.
interface to go
Every
into
person
this,
is
when I
treated
record
with
my
a
booth,
unique
and then I
treatment
just
plan designed
shoot myself a
specifically
file
for
to
you,
go out.
regardless of what
edit.
stage of addiction
But
you're in. Don't
it's
let the
a little
pain
red
of
box,
addiction
you can get
ruin
them
your
in
life.
several,
Call
you know,
800-950-0248.
2 different mics. Right? You put one for guitar, one for mic.
800-950-0248.
But I mean, you just simply interface it with USB on one, it goes right in the end,
FM
and then
Talk 1065 with
straight into your whatever your recording software is, like Adobe or whatever.
That the state does, but we are going to have to do
But
something to ease
that way
the
you've got a
flooding.
helping address
direct
concerning
source. You
local
don't have to worry
issues.
about
They have
outside
an ordinance
interfering
now
with my
about
phone.
panhandling with a sign at intersections.
It's talk about community safety.
The faster we can apprehend that suspect, the safer the community is.
Ask the
No.
sheriff
Homemade
every second
or-
Tuesday of the month on Midday Mobile
Sounds
with
like
FM
store-bought.
Talk 1065.
Yeah, we know a guy that makes them look
For
in.
more than a
He's all over
decade,
the Gulf Coast.
sip and chew with Mike
It
and
started
Stu
here.
on FM Talk 1065.
Talk, Mike.
So anyway, we've talked about wings.
All right, and Steve brought up salsa.
Yeah, he brought up a
Store-bought
salsa well,
Store bought or homemade?
so we're talking about salsa.
Right.
But you dip your chips in.
Right.
Not
that is-
picante sauce.
That is part of
Yeah. So real
Super
quick,
Bowl Sunday.
pace is not salsa. Pace is picante sauce. That's what it's called. Picante sauce is cooked. Salsa is not.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the main difference. The salsa is usually fresh ingredients,
Okay.
whereas picante sauce is cooked for a little while, kind of
Oh,
thicken it and bring the flavors together.
I got you.
And when you're dealing with like Pace and the other brands like that, part of the cooking process is just pasteurization.
Okay. So you lose a lot of flavor in that.
Yeah, pasteurization, no matter what you do it to, it negatively affects it.
Yeah, you mentioned that
When we
before.
pasteurize milk, we have to go back and put vitamin D and calcium back in it because pasteurization kills all the vitamins and minerals.
Wow. Wow. I always wondered why,
Yeah.
well, that's.
But
that's
it
show.
stopped a lot of other illnesses that were coming from milk before we learned about keeping it at a certain temperature.
Sure,
and
right,
things like
right.
that. For some stupid reason, they pasteurize honey.
Yeah, I've wondered why, this is the greatest. thing
That
on
is
the
because
planet.
they're letting lawyers make the decisions as opposed to people who actually know what they're doing. And lawyers always assume pasteurize everything, it makes you unsuable, which is not true,
Oh, wow.
because there are also other lawyers out there whose entire job is to get around that and sue you anyway.
There you go. Kind of like Bill was saying this morning,
Yeah.
waste is waste.
Yeah.
Think about what you're doing and know what
Yeah.
you're doing before you do it.
But the same issue with honey, if you pasteurize it, you kill all of its beneficial properties,
Right.
Mhm.
including its resistance to bacteria and germs.
Right.
That's why it doesn't need to be pasteurized. As long as the water percentage is lower than 18%, no bacteria can live in honey. We
Oh.
found honey in pyramids that were 3,000
about
years
to
old,
say.
and we could still eat it.
And, now we have honey that sits on the shelves and spoils within,
Well, yeah, if it's been pasteurized.
yeah, goes all
Yeah.
sugary and nasty.
Well, that's just evaporation. It's
Okay.
just getting better when it does that.
Ah.
All you have when it starts sugaring, just set it in some hot water and let the sugar molecules.
Well, honey, you gotta have honey in wings. Do you
Mhm.
put honey in salsa?
I don't.
Nah,
Well, we were talking about the salsas too. So you asked the best salsa, Tony Tejas.
okay.
Yeah, Tony's from here in Mobile.
Okay.
Great guy. He has sold this sauces all over the Gulf Coast. When he gave me the Lucky to show it to me, I told him what I liked about it was it tastes exactly like my homemade salsa, but I wasn't having to do any work.
So what do you put in your salsa?
When I do it, I always use canned tomatoes
Okay.
because canned tomatoes are always picked at the perfect ripeness. They've usually had the skin removed as well.
Okay.
And I use whole tomatoes, goes into the food processor, but before the tomatoes go in, it's white onion, purple onion sometimes, cilantro, jalapeno, garlic, cumin, chili powder, blend all that together. Then I throw the tomatoes in and just pulse it.
Do you like yours chunky or do you
Yes.
like it pure?
I prefer chunky, but I like it both ways. I mean, I could eat my weight in chips and good
Well, yeah,
salsa.
I've been when I've been down to Mexico, a lot of their what they call salsa is mainly pico de gallo.
Yeah,
And I'm going, this isn't what I had at home.
right. Well, let's err on the side of caution and say they're probably doing it right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Since they're from there.
Yeah, now my salsa recipe I learned from a dude who was first generation Mexican American.
Mhm.
Both his parents had come from Central Mexico. So it was a Mexican recipe
Mhm.
that I was getting.
Well, most people are gonna grab, something off the shelf real quick.
I like Herdez,
Yeah.
which is a little cheaper than Pace, but they have both picante sauce and salsa in a jar. They have we just called it guaca salsa.
Hmm.
It is a salsa verde with pureed avocado added to it.
Interesting.
Really good. And to marinate chicken thighs with it and throw them on the grill is
Ooh.
phenomenal.
Ooh.
Well, today is also pork rind day. And I love getting a microwavable pork rinds.
Dipping it in chocolate.
Well, I was thinking about what sauce would probably go best with pork rind.
A very vinegary barbecue sauce, like Dreamland.
Well, the pictures I've seen on social media today it showed a white sauce, not necessarily a Alabama white
I would
sauce.
do Alabama white sauce.
You think so?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
probably doing ranch because
For aesthetics.
it's a cop out.
The microwavable. Have you ever had the microwavable pork rind?
No.
They're good.
They're
great.
phenomenal.
They're great.
Now, does this mean that they're like raw and they curl and they go?
Well, they're in a bag just like popcorn. You just throw them in the microwave. You can hear them popping, and
Really?
then when you get them out, they're still popping while you're eating.
Yeah, they're sizzling. It's more of a sizzle.
Yeah.
It's a sizzle more than they're perhaps a slight crackle.
In New Orleans, there's a bar called in the MRB in the French Quarter,
Okay.
Muddy River Bottom,
Ah.
and they got a courtyard, and in the back they've got they set up a food truck permanently, and built a deck around it, and their specialty is the pork rinds.
Hmm.
And
A microwavable or
I think they fry theirs in grease because I
Okay.
think it comes out on like
Yeah, that's the way
crap
Big Rod
bag.
used to fry theirs too.
Yeah, and when they bring them out to you and set, you're at the bar or your table, and they bring them to you, they're popping still all the way through the whole time you're eating.
Crackle.
They're crackling.
That's what they call
Crackling
them,
and sizzling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're the-
exactly right.
And I
That is
forget
what
the
they
sauce
do.
they had, and because we had a few adult beverages, and I just can't remember the name. I was being sauce while I was eating my pork rind.
Where do you
It's
buy?
New Orleans, okay?
Where do you buy microwave?
It's
Well,
stores.
New Orleans for one. You can order off of Amazon.
I had never heard of that.
Yeah, but you go to the grocery store, buy them right off the shelves.
Yeah, Cochon in New Orleans, Donald Link's flagship restaurant.
Mhm.
Cochon being French for pig.
Right.
Everything on the menu is pork, including dessert. Pork rinds dipped in chocolate.
Oh my gosh.
That makes sense.
Yeah, chocolate covered bacon. Thank you,
Yeah.
Michael Simon. It was so funny. Michael Simon, very famous Cleveland chef, Iron Chef. We all know his bald head. Opened a restaurant in New York, and without even trying it, the New York critics bashed it. They always do that to any celebrity chef that hasn't been in New York. And they're, he wasn't ready for New York. And a year and a half later, what's everyone putting on their menu in New York? Chocolate covered bacon, because Michael Simon brought it. And I said, wasn't that Michael Simon wasn't ready for New York? It's that New York wasn't ready for Michael Simon.
Yeah.
They had to catch up. You know what? Bobby Flay turned this into a fad in New York over the last 20 years. They love grits now
Mhm.
because of Bobby Flay.
I still can't do grits. That's just me. I don't know if it's.
You might like Bobby's. He adds a little cornmeal to it, makes them creamier. So it's
See, that's
part
the thing. I don't like the texture.
Oh,
There's something about it that just doesn't swallow well.
George Carlin did a great skit on grits. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Emerald one time on
Maybe
Emerald
buy
Live,
just one grit. Yeah, that.
he said he goes,
What's
he-
this? It's moving.
Emerald holds up a bag of polenta and a bag of grits. He goes, polenta from Italy, $5 an ounce. Grits from Mississippi, 5 pounds for 10 cents. They're the same thing.
One night I was watching, this was on Food Network, and it was a long time ago. And this guy said he did a segment called North Meets South. And there's this guy standing behind him cooking or doing something. And he's this, I think his name's Adam, I forget. Anyway, this guy in the background turns around and they're going to do shrimp, shrimp and grits.
Mhm.
It's Cortland Inch. And they go out on the streets of Brooklyn and trying each other's, shrimp and grits. And they chose Cortland's. Every one of them chose Cortland's.
Because it's from
Wow.
Mobile.
Yeah, he knew how to do it.
Well, we got this on.
Which is funny too, because it's, as I've said before, it's not a Gulf Coast dish.
Yeah.
So we got the question of the salsa and the wings. We're halfway there. Now I want to go over to Mike's expertise.
Dessert.
No. We can do that too.
Okay.
But I didn't know there was any dessert in the Super Bowl. I guess you just
And there's no talking during the game either.
There-
That's what
there's
the
that.
commercials are for.
that is that. Well, you got
No. See, I'm different.
Oh,
I'm a commercial guy.
okay.
I watch the Super Bowl for the commercials, and I'm looking forward to see what David J. Maloney's commercial is tonight. 251-343-0106.
If you want to tell us what David J. Maloney's commercial is,
Yeah,
this year.
Super Bowl questions and talking stuff. Hey,
Including a brand new Dolphin Island Beach, Mobile, Alabama, Mobile, Alabama, Mobile,
You were
Alabama.
about to say Callahan.
This information
No, I
has been brought to you by Roy Lewis Construction, delivering unparalleled value and quality on new construction and
I don't think I
commercial and
remember Callahan
industrial
Super Bowl.
applications. Roy Lewis Construction, building legacies. one
Dave J. Maloney?
Yeah,
relationship at a
I
time.
don't think I
I was there all
I'm on a
Mississippi.
scooter, on a bus.
No, that was that. Okay.
you can call me almost anywhere. And see, he took when he got
I
arrested
remember
with
that one.
DUI.
Yeah, I
He
remember the
turned it
DUI.
around in his face. Made it funny.
I remember that.
And but he was on video. No, he was on Fox 10 this morning, and they were interviewing him about what commercial choices. Wow,
FM
in
Talk
the bowl time
1065.
commercial,
The
yeah.
Gulf Coast Weather
So he
Authority.
always does that. And they were showing all the, some of the commercials and the stars of the
Whether it's simply
commercials.
to and from work,
And
taking the
the,
kids
and
to
the lady
practice,
who
getting
does
you to
the
church on
Olympic
time, or
commercial
all
where
of the
she's singing
above.
on the bus
If you've
ride,
been involved in an auto
she gets
accident and need
hate mail.
timely repair to get
Because
your vehicle
people
back on
say,
the road,
I
Reddick
can't.
Collision
And they'll
Pros is
see
the
her
thing you need to know.
and they
Reddick
were
has three
interviewing
convenient
people
locations in
to become
Robertsdale,
stars
Murphy,
in
and
commercials
Mobile.
like the
Reddick is approved by
Allstate
all
guy.
insurance companies.
He's a television
Visit
star.
any of our three
He'll
locations
always
for a
be
free
known.
same-day estimate. Reddick,
He gets
home
there.
of the
And Flo,
lifetime
Well,
warranty.
and considering he was Willis's
Our master
character
certified
in
technicians understand the
the
importance of excellent customer
movies,
service, so we take the time to
the
explain
game
the
movie,
cars, the
baseball game.
repairs, and give honest advice. Call
Big
Gulf
League,
Coast Auto Tech for dealer quality
Major
repairs
League?
without
Major League
prices
Take.
on
I was
Hallsville
just
Road.
about to look it up. I can't
Are you
remember.
looking
Can't
for
think of
more
his
in this
name now,
world?
but he was the
If
guy.
you're ready for
I don't know,
something
the second one was just
24.
then we
Just a
are
bug.
looking for you. Big-hearted,
By the way, closure on
messy,
that.
and gutsy.
She's a stand-up
Teachers,
coach. That's what she was doing. She's talking about.
builders,
Yeah, I
the
was
skilled,
starving,
the sheriffs,
starving.
the change
Dennis
makers.
Haysford.
We
Pedro.
need
That was
She does a lot of
Okay.
voiceover work
We
in
are the Peace Corps.
cartoons.
In more
Yeah.
than
Oh,
60
yeah.
countries,
There's a
we go
job right
all
there.
in and all out.
But
We're volunteers,
but Flo-
partners,
Flo was
communities,
talking
working
about how she
together,
was
living
starving,
together, bringing
trying
our
to get work,
experience, passion,
and she
and joy
started
to
doing
building a better world
comedy.
together.
And she was still
From
starving
tackling
then, but
climate change in
when-
Mexico,
she
to
said
keeping
the
kids healthy in
pinnacle of
Kenya,
her
from
was when,
sustainable farming in the Philippines,
when they started
to
doing
education in
Halloween
Kosovo.
costumes of
We
her
learn,
outfit
give more,
for,
share
she said,
freely, and serve
she knew
boldly.
she made it.
Yeah.
Are you ready to tackle the tough
That was
stuff,
the pinnacle.
to go the distance,
That's
to make
what
a
I thought.
difference?
They had her first stand-up
Where you
on
belong.
YouTube for a
Join
while.
us at
And she was talking about the
peacecorps.gov.
old everything's a dollar. And she goes,
This week on
"Don't you
Sweet
get
Home
the feeling
Caravan,
when you walk in?
Podcast,
It's kind of like
law
the
enforcement and
Island
the
of
powers
Misfit
that be
Toys on
really
for marketing
understand
campaigns.
cannabis.
Hi,
They know
I'm
what's happening
Cinnamon Toast.
nationally and around the
Right.
globe with cannabis. Do they even care to understand?
That's all I care about.
And then what happens when the
My
people in
teams aren't
charge
in it,
don't
so
really
I
understand or
just watch
care?
it for the commercials.
Innocent people.
And I
will
hope,
get
and I
injured.
hope they.
Join us Monday
And
for
that's-
Sweet Home Cannabis
That's
at
fine as
7
long as
p.m.
you don't
We'll
talk
discuss this and
during the
more
game.
right here on FM Talk
Talk
106.5.
during while play is going on, you're out of here.
They are the dynamic duo of dining. Sip and chew with Mike and Stu. Call 343-0106. Now back to Mike and Stu.
Alrighty, so Steve, what were you saying?
You don't know about booze.
Well, no, I was actually thinking, well, you've got the food. We know what the food is, but the drink to wash it down with.
Right,
You're
yeah,
an expert in that.
Super Bowl beer, Super Bowl Sunday
But what beer?
beer. I'm going.
Whatever beers you like.
Yeah, I said, there is no wrong one. I mean, I would love a Nicola Mandela dark.
That's a great beer. It's dark in color. It's not dark like Guinness Stout
Mm-hmm.
or Murphy Stout or Buffalo Stout. It's not
Yeah.
a stout.
And
And it's not a porter either.
my
It's a
fa-
dark
what a-
lager.
my favorite stout is the Fairhope Brewing Company's.
Yeah, Judge Roy Bean.
Judge Roy Bean, but I'm gonna tell you, Nicola Mandela, when I go to a Mexican restaurant or just anywhere, when they got it on tap, I'm getting one because I was at a Macho Taco the other day, one of my customers in Foley, and this lady, it's obviously she was older than I, and she's probably lives
That's
in the
not possible.
retirement community there, and she had the biggest, coldest looking frosted mug full of Nicola Mandela. And I wish I could have one of those. And I just stood at her table. I was talking to her.
You're drooling all the time. Man.
Yeah, I kept.
It's a really good, like I say, it's a dark lager. It's not a stout or
Yeah.
a porter. So it doesn't have that bitterness. It doesn't have the coffee tones.
But that,
Very
that.
malty.
But I'm a tequila guy, and we got a big bottle of tequila sitting in the freezer right now. We'll probably pop that with the wings, and
I was gonna say, I didn't know if there was gonna be a better match, for certain foods. Then you're just saying beer overall doesn't matter with wings, doesn't matter
well,
with
beer is easy. That way,
Whatever you like.
the commercials.
Corona.
Commercials don't last as long as the play does. So you can always go get you a beer
Pop a beer
while the game's on, so you'll be back in time to watch the commercials.
or the other way around. Okay. David Ebel texted said, of course, cracklins in Cajun country are gratons.
Real tone, he would know.
And then Latin cuisine, the chicharrones.
Hey, David, on my memory phone, it popped up memories of the boucherie over with John Foltz and them. I'm gonna be posting those again, sharing them again. That was a fun day. It was cold and wet that day, but it was a fun day.
Speaking of wonderful days, you posted yesterday the Super Chili Bowl. Nice shirt you got going on there today.
And they gave us these.
How was it?
Oh, it was great. You know, when I taste chili, I think of beef. You know,
Big chunks.
the red chili. But the guy who won yesterday was the white chicken.
Really?
Chili, white chili with chicken. And they came in second last year, but this year they won it. And it was absolutely delicious. And then there was another one that was another, they only had 2 white chilies submitted. But one had another chili, to get off subject a little bit, had buffalo in it, venison. I mean bison. And it was so good.
Yeah.
And I
Makes
had
a great chili. I made
this,
some bison chili just a couple weeks ago.
I had this big old piece of bison meat in my cup, and I went to, you know, with the
admire
spoon,
it first.
and I was sitting there bringing the spoon up to my mouth, and all of a sudden it just rolled off.
Oh, I figured
no.
you were going to say someone reached around, took the bite.
You know, more than 5 seconds is still okay.
No, not four, but
With bison, you get 12. Oh, that's right. That's saying.
no, we were upstairs in a room I didn't even know they had. They had the third floor.
The secret third floor, now the not secret floor.
Secret passage.
Now, the chili that you're referring to that most people think of, the red chili, is called chili rojo.
Uh-huh.
And then there's chili verde, which is usually pork butt, and verde being green. So it's tomatillos instead of tomatoes and green chilies.
Okay.
And then the white chili, chili blanco. And then there's chili Colorado, which is a rojo that instead of ground beef, it's finely diced pieces of steak.
Yep.
Delicious.
But
Love chili Colorado.
they had some really incredible chilies down there, and a few of them taste like they just opened a can of chili and heated it,
Dumped it in.
But the one who won, and then there was another one that was another white chili I was telling you about. They tasted so similar, and we thought, "Hey, did they make a mistake and send us?" No, they were like a few tables from each other, just delicious. But we had 21 teams, so with 21 chilies we got to try.
Do not
There's
want
only
to ride
5
in the car
judges.
with you on the way back from there.
But I want to tell you, I had my tongue sitting in the front seat, and but the floor bandman just did a phenomenal job, and Danny Calmetti and his staff and that group, they just did a phenomenal job. And
Those are big brothers and big sisters, weren't
American Cancer
they?
Society.
American Cancer Society.
And they gave us these nice shirts for the event, and there was a bunch of Kansas City fans.
Yes, sir.
Dressed up down there, and but they had bushwhackers. They gave us some free bushwhackers.
And Mike had 20.
No, I only had.
Don't
had
say
4.
it, man, because there may be cops listening. ABC board may be monitoring.
Anyway,
Okay, so last week I was going to go to the Lunar New Year at Santa Monica Church, and as you fellas know, I walked outside, had a flat tire again.
Wondered how that turned out.
Yeah, so it would not air all the way up out here. It got to 30 psi and stopped.
Wouldn't go any further.
Yeah, so I made it over to Mavis Tire on Highway 90,
Okay.
and with about 10 psi in it. So
Yeah.
whatever was going on was
Serious.
critical.
Yeah.
And it was an all-lady crew. They did a wonderful job. She did tell me, she goes, "I've only got 2 girls here, and I got 5 cars ahead of you. It's probably going to be 3 hours." And I said, "Well, you know what? I don't really have a choice."
Where am I going to go?
I said, "So I'm going to walk down the street and have lunch." And I walked the half mile down to Azalea and 90, crossed over and went to a place I've heard a lot about. Andy McDonald's talked about it, and that's Rice Asian Grill and Sushi. So I finally went there. I had the gyoza, which is the dumplings that they, these were filled with pork. I went porky that day. I figure I'm walking this off. So I got the gyoza, and I love Asian dumplings. And then I just was real simple, pork fried rice. The presentation, and I'll show you guys a picture, and then, I'll post it if y'all want me to on Facebook. you've been to the Thai places, you get the little cone of rice on the side.
Yeah.
Well, the entire fried rice was a giant cone on a big platter. It was
Wow.
about a foot tall.
Dang.
Presentation was awesome. Really good, nice place. People rolling in and out after church.
I've seen it over there. I've never been there.
Yeah,
Is it there right next to, was it Port City Comics?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Right there. There's a Hungry Howie's up in there
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Which,
yeah, yeah.
as a chain pizza goes, kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time you had Hungry Howie?
Been a long time.
I don't really eat the pizza much, but their subs, and I'm
Yes.
doing air quotes if you're listening
Yes.
on radio, are calzones. Basically, there's a Philly cheese, and they just take
Flap
the
it
small
over,
crust, flap it over.
Yeah.
Those are really good.
Philly cheese would be great.
Well,
to
steak
have
and
today.
mushrooms.
They
Yeah,
would.
steak and mushroom.
I wonder if Dave.
Sam's House of Pizza makes a killer
I
Philly
wonder if D.
cheese.
Michaels is open today.
Who?
D. Michaels. They're from Philadelphia, I think, and they do
Where are they
it
located?
out there on Theodore Dawes,
Yeah,
right off
at the
I-10.
interstate by the Greyhound Park.
Okay.
You've been finding yourself at the Greyhound Park lately?
No, there's nothing going on there. They use that for storing Amazon trucks
Okay.
and FedEx trucks.
That
But
used to be the hottest restaurant in Mobile in the 70s
what?
at the Greyhound Park.
Oh, it did. It did in the 80s for a while.
Yeah.
But D. Michaels does a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Very good.
I do,
And he does different versions of it too.
New food truck, Big Mike's.
Yeah, it's sit out there and
Now
sell.
Sam's,
Yeah.
he does every now and then he'll.
Roma Cafe has really good Philly cheesesteak.
Mm-hmm. But if
They
you're a
have-
Phillies fan,
Yeah,
dying here now.
as does Bella Italia, since
yeah,
Alec, originated the menu at Roma Cafe. And
right.
has that. He has the call 911.
Mhm.
They add jalapeno peppers to it and some crushed red pepper flakes and a little hot sauce.
Well, I see
That was
that.
like pizza. I remember the red flakes. That was the first time I ever
Yeah.
had.
Love chili flakes,
Oh my
man.
God.
They're so good.
I see that Chase Yamagata has put a question up on the foodies page on South Alabama foodie site, which I sent you an invitation
Oh, thank
to
you.
join, so you can keep up on the food scene.
Yeah.
But it's for the Gulf. It's for the Gulf Coast. But let me tell you, he had posed a question: Are you for KC barbecue today, or a Philadelphia Philly Samp cheese?
I go, well, you know where I'm going. I'm going KC.
I won't burn ends. Someplace recently did a burnt end Philly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is that? Yeah, I know
They
that.
burnt ends when they
Oh, the burnt end.
yeah, they took the burnt ends from the brisket, chopped it up, made a Philly cheesesteak.
Ah, ooh.
Somebody locally too, like over in Baldwin County. Somebody on your route.
Hmm.
That
One of the
sounds,
bus places over there. I think.
that's
Buster?
meat.
Yeah.
Just that you got
Crunch,
meaty,
yeah,
meaty
so much bark on the outside because
texture.
it's
Oh, man.
literally burnt.
I saw Salt Pepper Oak was doing something with burn ends the other day, but I can't remember what it was.
I think I sent you a picture of it. I may have found that on Twitter now that I think about it, the burn in
Mhm.
Philly, but I was just like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love burnt end anything.
Yeah.
Really?
Pork.
Pork?
Pork belly,
The beef,
pork belly, burn
the
ends.
pork burn ends don't come anywhere close to the real brisket.
With the brisket to me though.
Now, if you want to
I'll hand out
experience,
bibs to everybody here in a minute.
if you want to experience that Texas beef experience without the expense of brisket, do what they do in Texas. They have a cut that's called the shoulder clod. Comes off the front shoulder.
Yeah.
That's what most of your beef sandwiches are in Texas. They're not brisket. And it is phenomenal at about half the price of brisket. You'll have to go to the butcher shop and tell them you'd like to get the clod,
Mhm.
and they'll send it. Or, if you go to a grocery store that actually does meat cutting, that's Rouse's does it, Greer's,
Mhm.
Piggly Wiggly. Walmart does not do meat cutting. Everything comes in there pre-cut.
Yeah, yeah.
So, which is not a slight on Walmart. That's how they do it and keep prices where they do. They don't have meat cutters because it's more dangerous.
Well, I know, and I'm not sure about up here on University, but the Piggly Wiggly up there on University, which I'll be going to in a little while. The one in Foley has a phenomenal meat department,
Mhm.
and they always have. And I've always liked brisket. I'll get not brisket, London broil. I'll get London broil to make my beef jerky out of
Yeah.
it. And he'll cut it and stick some on it.
Or
So-
thin.
Or stem.
Yep.
Hey, 251-343-0106. You can get in on the last quarter season football.
Yeah.
The final quarter of the Sip and Shoot Show.
Come on, Mike, we're at the 2-minute warning.
Instead, get a table near the street.
This Moon Pie Minute is brought to you by
I've got
Kimmy's. Try
smelly
Kimmy's
feet.
award-winning king cake or Moon Pie ice cream flavors this Mardi Gras.
So the
Get them
other
at
day, I
Carnival
forget where I was at, and I was driving down the
Raspberry
road, and
Rock,
I heard
and now in Fairhope
I
on
heard
County
one of
Road
our
24.
promos I've never
Campus
heard.
Old Dutch, 56 years.
Should
and
have
still
5 in
living.
there. They wrote.
Yeah, but
Parades
At
in downtown
nighttime,
Mobile
I
received
catch
the
'em.
lion's share of
at
attention
night
during
time, different
Carnival.
ones, and
But
but the
since
one I hear the
1980s,
most,
Fairhope
the
has
one's
been
got
building an
Chase,
impressive
Yamamoto
parade
in it.
season of their own.
and
Boasting the largest
but
and oldest
this one I've
music
never heard
organizations in
before.
Baldwin County, the men of the Knights of Ecker Rouge and the
We were-
women of the
and then
Maids of
I was
Jubilee
doing a
in
wine-
order of
I was
Mystic
pairing wine
Magnolias
with
will all
what's,
take to the streets
one
for
of the
parades
moon
followed by a
pies.
ball this season.
something
As
else.
opposed to some organizations that borrow
Yeah,
floats,
They're
each
good
Fairhope
promo, they're great
organization
promos. You
owns
did a
their own
great job.
floats and redesigns them
I'm
annually
working
based
on
on theme.
other promo.
The parade route allows spectators to watch each parade twice, whether on Section Street or Church Street, as the parades start and end at the Fairhope
Oh,
Civic
wow.
Center,
That's
where
the
the band
ad comes right
follows.
over the top.
If you were consumed under a celebration vehicle
Hello,
square, you
Pop-ups.
probably haven't considered exploring other parade options
I
outside
sent
of
this-
Mobile.
I
But the
sent
energy
this
of the
to Danny
crowds,
yesterday.
emphasis on float design,
We
and
don't have a
backdrop of
taco festival.
iconic
We
downtown
need a taco
Fairhope can
festival.
make for
We're
an
glad.
unforgettable Mardi Gras
Yeah,
experience.
that's
Oh, we
right.
did.
You don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
to reach your Moon Pie to enjoy your favorite flavors of Mardi
But
Gras.
how many times he
Kimmy's Old
does
Dutch
it?
ice cream
Look
shop
what that
provides
said.
their famous
Recipe
ice cream with
courtesy
real
of-
moon pies, chocolate, coconut, banana, and a new
Grinders.
flavor, blueberry
That's a
moon
funny
pie.
stretch.
This Mardi Gras season, treat yourself to the best ice
There's
cream
not
on
a
the Gulf
taco
Coast with a scoop or two
That would
of
be
Moon
cool,
Pie ice cream
because
at
everybody
Cammy's Old
does
Dutch in
gumbo,
Mobile,
everybody
on
does
Old Shell,
chili.
Hallsville,
Everybody
or their
does that.
newest
Why not?
location in Fairhope
Well,
on
the
County
tacos
Road
are
24.
Tacos would be
Kimmy's,
cheap.
56 years and still dipping.
Well, it's not like there's a shortage of,
50 years, Mobile
you know,
Bay
taco
Magazine has
trucks
showcased the
around
history, style,
Perfect.
arts, dining, and entertainment
I
that
want
defines
to do a food
excellence on
truck
both
called
sides
the
of
Redneck
Mobile
Taco
Bay.
Truck.
Each month's issue is
Everything
filled
that's
with
in
our
the
unique
tortilla is
Southern
traditional
Alabama
Southern.
culture, beautifully captured and
Cheese
told through
grits with
engaging
ham, and you
articles
dunk it
and
in red-eye
stunning
gravy.
photography. When you subscribe
Black-eyed
to Mobile
peas
Bay
with
Magazine,
fried
you'll be swept into
catfish.
the pages
So look at this place.
Collard
One of
greens,
places
pork
and
chop.
This
faces
place I went to
untold
yesterday.
stories
I
about.
thought I was going to get
Start your
breakfast,
journey
and they do
today
it
by
Tuesday,
visiting
Friday.
mobilebaymag.com. That's mobilebaymag.com.
Hello again, friends. I'm Randy Bergen,
And
inviting
they
you to
roll,
join me,
see, that's a
Coach Rick
roll-up
Cleveland,
door, and
Coach
their
Mark
mop seats
Glassman
down
for
here.
the Thompson Tractors Prep Sports Report.
But
We'll
they
be
don't have to
coming
worry
to you
about
live
crackheads.
from the Eastern Shore Toyota and Hyundai Studios for
They
2
got a grocery
hours
store
beginning
next
at
door.
8 a.m. every Saturday morning. We'll visit with coaches,
That thing-
athletes,
that thing,
administrators,
that was
and more
beef.
as we
That
keep
thing
you
was
up to
that
date on
long
all
and
things
that
prep
round.
along the Gulf Coast and the state of Alabama. Wake up
Two
for
of
the
them. I
Prep
got a
Sports
pork dinner.
Report team this
I
Saturday
ate
morning
half
starting
each
at
and I
8
had
a.m.
stole
right
it.
I
here
like
on
Chipotle.
FM Talk
Totally,
106.5.
I mean, talk
If you're
about
talking about it,
me. But that's just me.
we're talking about it.
While unemployment
Mission
has
district.
dropped, so did wages.
It's talk
Mission style
Southern
burrito. That's what
style.
they do.
Yeah.
on FM Talk 106.5.
That was that piece of meat.
For more than a decade, they are the dynamic duo of dining. Mike and Stu on FM Talk 106.5.
Michael, you know what I'm doing after the show?
What are you doing?
I'm going to head out to Escataba Hollow on the state line and hike their new woodland trail.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, I had to figure we got, 3 weeks ago we had a blizzard, and today it's going to be 80 degrees, so I'm going to take advantage of it because next week we get another cold snap.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be as bad, but you never
No.
know.
It's
You
not
don't
gonna be-
never know.
It's going to be more Mobile-like,
Mm-hmm.
and as Bill said,
30 in the morning and 80 in the afternoon.
Yeah, where you put a jacket on, it looks like you're coming out of Eskimo City, and then by afternoon you're in shorts. Yeah.
But as Bill says, spring starts on the Gulf Coast next week, middle of February.
Okay.
And I've seen redbud trees already in bloom. I've started to see migratory birds coming through. So
People have been reporting robins already,
yeah,
and the red-chested.
saw one stepped outside the station the other day.
And of course, Mardi Gras. I mean, you got to have cold weather for Mardi Gras. Never fails.
Yeah.
All 4 years of high school and 3 years in college, I never once had to hike in the rain or march in the rain.
Really?
Never once. Got lucky.
I'd say you did.
Now I had some cold Mardi Gras parades,
Mhm.
and I had some that were hot. But I got lucky. Never in high school band or in football did I ever have a rain game. That's so odd being where we are.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
But I
one
never
thing,
had to deal with it.
totally off, just a rabbit trail. We started out really well this morning. Normally we start off with the sports thing with Auburn. And what happened to that today?
It's the
Oh,
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Super Bowl.
Mike
Maybe
Mike
it's
has no
Florida.
idea that Alabama's probably going to be the #1 team in the country. But
just,
he's like most Alabama fans. If it's not football, he doesn't care.
I'm just winking here. Just
Well, I
happened
like girls softball.
Yeah. Which
I like-
started Friday.
I
Season
like
started
it. See,
Friday.
I've been seeing all the baseball fields lit up at night, and so they're already starting
Oh, yeah, baseball.
practicing the baseball.
Yeah.
We didn't start when I was a kid. We didn't start practicing until April.
Well, you're more than in practice. Georgia County had their first 2 games yesterday already.
Yeah,
Of
I think
the season.
South's about to have theirs. They haven't already.
Well, like,
swing in
yeah,
full
the
season.
college season started Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, they started in full season over there, I think, in South Mississippi Tuesday night. So, yeah, it's here already.
Mhm.
Spring is sprung and
Yeah.
baseballs are being thrown.
That
Makes
means them
the
bass
season
will
longer.
be on the bed soon with them fat bellies. Of course, if I get one full of eggs, I feel it. My personal best up at Citronelle Lake a few years ago, the 7 pounds, 9 ounces,
Mhm.
probably was a little over 7 had she not had a belly full of
There you
eggs.
go, cook up some bass, get some cracklings. Dude, you're up.
Yeah.
David Pebbles texted back. He said, I concur with Stu on rice. He visited apparently a few months ago. Said the service was great, the meal was great, the vibe was great.
Yeah. Nice little place.
Yeah.
Rice was nice.
Right there,
Rice.
Government and Azalea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And an easy walk from the tire store.
I was gonna say, that's a pretty good hike,
Which
actually.
one did you go to? Mavis?
Yeah.
Government, yeah.
Yeah. The one that was open and
Yeah.
close. The one that was open and my tire could make it to. But I had already been price shopping because that tire had been giving me trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that they did not have the tire that I had found online that was 70, but they had a really good tire for 169. That was everything included. So
Yeah.
I got your invite, but I'm trying to figure out, it won't let me.
it doesn't like
It says request declined. I haven't even submitted anything.
you. You probably clicked on it in
The wrong
in,
way.
in a stupor.
That's happened before. I'll talk to Chase.
It's Facebook.
He's probably got all my friends blocked.
I don't blame you.
What is it? Something about the way you eat hot dogs, I think. Is
Folks, if you get a chance to
It's
join,
criminal.
I know Facebook, and everybody has their own opinion, but there's some really good foodie sites out there you could join. You got to keep the negativity off of it. No negativity. You can't slam anybody or put anybody down. You're not a food critic, so don't know. Chase.
They're just
I
talking about their generation.
I think Chase helped the guy in Mississippi start the Mississippi Gulf
Yeah.
Coast foodies, and let me tell you what, I think there are 100,000 people. And,
That's more people than live on the Gulf Coast.
And the one in New Orleans is like the New Orleans foodie site. I joined it too.
I bet that's
Lord
huge.
Almighty, it's huge. The Mississippi may not. I think it's more 60 or 80,000 over Mississippi, but the one in New Orleans is a couple hundred thousand.
Man, I got a place that I've known about for years in New Orleans that you need to go to because it's a wine bar.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Della Chase Wine Bar, which
I've
is,
heard of it.
it's not in the French Quarter, it's not in the Garden District, it's on Canal north of I-10.
Yeah.
On a Della. Phenomenal place, goose fat fries.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh, they're so good. Probably 30 cheeses to choose from on a cheese board.
Well, I
Fries
think
come with an aioli with so much garlic in it that it burns like horseradish,
really
and then a Thai peanut sauce. They
like that Thai
best
peanut
fries I've
it's
ever.
got so much garlic. If a vampire bit me, they would probably die of garlic poisoning.
Or alcohol poisoning,
Nice reach. Nice reach.
Hey, I tell you,
or just from the pure cheese whiz flowing through your veins.
one of my favorite places over there is Birdie Grocery, but Birdie Mart. And the aisles are so narrow. There's only 2 aisles. The aisles are so narrow you got to walk sideways. But in the back, they got this all gourmet food in a deli case. It's all gourmet. You won't go outside. There's people sitting on the sidewalk eating out of the styrofoam to-go boxes.
Wow.
and it's phenomenal.
So we
food.
were mentioning Philly cheesesteaks, the best in the area. A
Mhm.
text came in, appreciate that. Philly's over in Pensacola, the best cheesesteak they've ever had. Any idea who that might be?
What's the name of
It just says the greatest. There's two owned by two guys came from Philadelphia, opened the
Okay.
place in Pensacola.
I've heard of, don't remember the name, but you know, a real Philly most cheesesteaks you've had are sirloin.
it?
Real Philly cheesesteaks are ribeye. Publix and someone else, possibly Winn-Dixie or
Mhm.
Piggly Wiggly, you can buy the shaved ribeye
Mhm.
and make a real Philly at home.
Yeah.
It's like an $8.95. You get 1 pound of shaved ribeye,
So my question,
which is
I've
one
never done
sandwich a
this.
month.
So what goes in? There's obviously a seasoning that goes into the beef.
Salt, pepper, garlic.
That's it.
And you can buy that already made up.
Yeah.
It's
Man, I'm out of the loop. Okay.
SPG. It's on the label, SPG.
We used to call it spag.
Hey, look, if you haven't ordered from the grocery stores like Public, I think they stopped taking orders yesterday for wings. And
Yeah.
But if you hadn't done it, you better go cook your own unless you're lucky to find somebody or one of the other wing places. Same thing with Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day is Friday, too late.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to get a beef.
Pop open a can of Spam and cook for it.
Cook for your loved ones.
Mix things up McDonald's for a value meal, right?
Or you go to a Waffle House. And
Well, they're going to be packed too.
Whataburger's romantic.
Is it really?
Yeah, that orange and white stripe. Yeah. That screams Valentine.
I love Whataburger. I love it year round. Not just one day a year.
One thing the only thing I don't like about Whataburger is the wait.
It's because they don't cook it till you get there. It's fresh cooked every
But I
time.
love the onion rings.
Yeah. They do have really good. You know, Sonic makes their onion rings from scratch.
Really?
They don't pull them out of a bag. Mike, get
Folks,
us out of here.
Get out there, support local, be local, buy local, tip well, be patient. Go Eagles.
Or whoever.
Chiefs,
You mean go refs?
please.
Oh, we forgot something. Make a fondue with provolone. Fondue really should make it.